Hi, Democrats. Today is Wednesday, January 12th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Wednesday. So, you guys have noticed probably that I have been talking quite a bit about voting rights, just like the president, but I've been talking more locally about voters registration and how important it is that we all show up and sign up for our absentee ballots. Not too late. Go out, sign up for your absentee ballot as soon as you're done watching me. Request your absentee ballot, and that this Friday is the last day to register to be able to participate in the elections that are coming up on February 8th. A lot of times people ask me why I do this work. What was the thing? And the truth is that most people are drawn to get involved in politics based on one issue. There are people who, like, in 2018, a lot of teachers got involved and ran for office and were elected because that was their one thing. There are folks who get involved because of education, because of healthcare, because of infrastructure. Usually we have one reason why we get involved. And for me, that one reason is voting rights, right? You guys have heard me say it over and over again, but I'm going to say it again, that I think that everyone should have the right to vote, be educated when they get there, and know that their vote will count. That's my motto. I say it all the time, and everything that I do is about making sure that folks have an opportunity to vote, that they're registered, that they know what they're voting for, and that they have access to the information. That is super important to me. But we live in these times. We live in these woke times, and one of the things that I want to be awake to is the fact that I do have a certain amount of privilege where voting rights can be my one thing, can be my jam, could be the thing that gets me up every day. I woke up this morning, and I know everybody's seen it, but I woke up this morning being inundated with the tweet from Secretary of Education Ryan Walters. I knew about it. I've even commented on it. But this morning, it was overwhelming, and it made me think about it. And his flippant, uninformed, short-sighted, mean-spirited comments reminded me of privilege. He's no longer in the classroom, and so he can just easily say, we should always be in the classroom, and it's, parents want their kids in the classroom. I don't have kids. Y'all know this about me. But I get it. I don't have kids, but I think kids should be in the classroom. If you are a family that believes in classroom education, you want your kids to be in the classroom as many hours as possible. And every time they have to go home because of COVID, or a couple of years ago, it was because the schools were too hot, or whatever, it is an inconvenience to your life, and you feel like maybe your kid isn't getting everything that they should get. However, I am a firm believer that when your regular life is interrupted and you're having to scramble around just for the basics, you're not thinking about voting. Voting rights aren't top of mind when you have to take off work because your kid can't go to school because the school is closed. I have been watching this situation because I know people with kids, right? And I've been recruiting for superintendent of public instruction. And so I've been kind of watching this. In Tulsa Public Schools, I was thinking, I went out and looked at the site. I think it was on Monday, and there was one school that every grade was going to be in school, but the fourth grade. And then I went out today, and there's a school that the third grade aren't going to have a teacher, in the second grade, because Tulsa is still trying to stay open. And when I look at that, I know that the principals and the administrators and the teachers and the paraprofessionals and the bus drivers are all banding together to try to figure out how to keep that school open. They're doing everything they can, and they've moved people around, and they joined classrooms. They've done everything they can, and it looks like we just can't we can get everything covered but the fourth grade. We can get everything covered but the third grade, or everything but, English. They're doing everything they can to keep in-person school as a possibility. And when they do that, they scramble, and they don't have enough bus drivers, and they do everything they can, and then they have to close the school, and they close the school for 2 days. because that's what's happening in Middale, and that's what's happening in Oklahoma County. Is they're closed for 2 days. They're closed for Thursday, Friday, and they're going back on Tuesday because Monday is a holiday. Well, they wouldn't have been in there anyway. And then the person whose job responsibility is the chief advisor to the governor on public education issues and needs decides to put out an insensitive tweet that says, y'all aren't working hard enough. Y'all aren't doing enough to keep schools in. That is not encouraging. That is not what they need. And as we are hemorrhaging teachers, it's not helpful. And I just keep thinking, those folks aren't thinking about voting rights. Those folks aren't thinking about, oh yeah, I got to hurry up and vote. I got to hurry up and register. They're thinking about how am I going to take care of my students? How am I going to take care of my kids as a parent? Who's going to watch my kids while I go to work? Who's going to get them? Who's going to pick them up because I'll still be at work? Or whose kids can I pick up? Can we carpool? They're not thinking about voting. I want everybody to be thinking about voting because voting or not voting is how we got here. How we have a governor who's already running for president and who's appointing people based on if they will say yes to him versus based on if they are qualified to do the job or if they will do the job once appointed. And the current Secretary of Education was appointed by the governor. And I understand that he had good ratings as a teacher, but it's as if he's forgotten all of that and he's more concerned with staying in the governor's favor. That's not what we need. We need folks who are focused on the job. The job is being an advisor to the governor about public education issues and needs. And so when the governor says no masks, no vaccines, or personal choice, blah, 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 okay, rock with it for a little while until you see that it's not working. And newsflash, it's not working. Schools are closed all over the state, not because teachers don't want to go to school, not because students don't want to be there, but because we can't keep enough folks COVID-free to keep the schools open. I hate talking about COVID, but COVID interferes with our life in all kinds of ways, and it interferes with our life more because we have a governor who's pretending like it's not real. We have a governor who will not step up and lead, because that's all it takes is step up and lead and say, if we want to keep businesses open, we want to keep kids in school, we need mask mandates. We need vaccine mandates. Until then, this is what's going to happen. Whenever there's a surge, schools are going to run the risk of not being open full time. It's a shame. 1 in 21 Oklahomans currently have COVID. Not will catch it, not may know somebody, but 1 in 21 Oklahomans currently have COVID. Shameful and scary. And thank you, I don't even want to say his name, to the Oklahoma's governor. I need you to lead. Step up, do your job, lead. Parents do, as the secretary said, parents do want their kids in school. The only way it's going to happen is if we can keep schools open. The only way it looks like we're going to keep schools open is to get COVID under control. You've had 2 years, dude. Figure it out. Keep schools open. All right. Not my normal topic, but it's been riding my brain. It's a little frustrating that something that could be fixed isn't being fixed for political purposes. We are using children as pawns for political messages, and that's gross and irresponsible and depressing, frankly. So I'm gonna wrap it back up and come back to my normal talking points. Friday, January 14th, is the last day to register to vote to be able to participate in the election on February 8th. Right now, you can still request your absentee ballot. You have until January 24th to request your absentee ballot in order to participate in that election. If you go out and sign up for your absentee ballot today, tomorrow, yesterday, you can get your absentee ballots for the entire year. So your ballot will be sent to you early. Your ballot will be sent to you early. You have it. You can do your research, color your dots, get it notarized, and send it in at your leisure. You don't have to wait in the COVID line. You don't have to leave your house if you don't, well, except for the notary, but you can schedule that on your way to go dropping it off or on your way to the mailbox. Request your absentee ballots. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon. So stay COVID safe and do your absentee ballot. You guys have a great day. I'm going to be more cheerful tomorrow, I promise. Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow at 4:15. Have a great one.